Attention all
We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors, Dominica, and we'll come back with the talk on the block.
Attention all bakers and loyal customers of Ether Trading Limited. We've got a big news you won't want to miss. Ether Trading Limited is pleased to announce massive price reductions on your favorite Carigold brand flowers. That's right, prices like you've never seen before in Dominica. Now available at unbeatable prices. Carigold Baker's Flour, 25 pound, 50 pound and 100 pound bags. Carigold whole wheat flour, 25 pound, 50 pound and 100 pound bags. Carigold multigrain flour, 1 kg. Carigold rye flour, 1 kg. Carigold herb and garlic flour, 25 pound bags. Whether you're baking for business or just love fresh homemade goodness, now is the time to stock up. Visit us today at Caneville Industrial Estate or the corner of Kennedy Avenue and the Bayfront to place your orders and enjoy these incredible savings. At Ether Trading Limited, we're proud to deliver only the best for our valued customers because you deserve nothing less. Remember, at Ether Trading Limited, we are making a difference for you.
I see going shopping for farming supplies. So I ask you, what are you doing inside Bloombox? You have a farm? You tell me, that's how hell sort. I've been married 37 years. Look at my money farm. I say, no, not woman. Like land for farming crops. And then you understand, Bloombox is the most affordable on island. Knapsacks starting at only $57.71. Elsewhere, it's $300 plus. Cutlass seeds, seeding trays, nursery pots, sales of potting mix, all at way better prices than anywhere else. Fertilizers, 3-in-1 multi-tool, and so much more. Located on Federation Drive, Goodwill. Second property on the right after the Valley Link Road and on the corner of Drury Lane and Hanover Street in Rosal. Bloombox. Let's bloom together.
They did not do it for personal gain. They are the past, the present, and the future of the cooperative movement in Dominica. They are the reason for the financial success of so many. That is why, in this International Year of Cooperative, the cooperative movement honors them at an awards event at the Intercontinental Hotel in Portsmouth on Cooperative Day in July. Each cooperative, the credit union, the non-financial cooperative, will nominate for awards deserving members past and present. Look out for this grand event in July, an event that brings to focus the spirit of goodwill and keeping the idea of cooperative forever young.
Come check out Jerry Lord in concert Friday, May 30th, 2025 at the Bill Daniel Memorial Park in Goodwill at 8 p.m. Additional acts Julian Rivera, Lily Octave, and N Harmonics. Tickets adults $40, children under 16, $15, VIP $100. Sing, rejoice, praise, testify, Jerry Lord in concert. Come check it out. Be there.
If you know your favorite store, dial it now. 612-1253. That's Mega. deals. You can rely on Mega for some real deals on name brand clothing and electronics. High quality, low price. We are a wholesale and retail store located in Calabishi, right on the main road. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram as Mega Deals Dominica. Like our page. Check out our stuff. Call us. Visit us. Would appreciate that. Come try it on. Love it. Buy it at Mega Deals. Your one and only online and brick and mortar store. Mega Deals is also on wheels. We make it convenient for your shopping. We deliver straight to your door. Email us at info@megadealsda.com. Rely on Mega Deals for some real deals.
All right, Dominica, good afternoon to you and welcome. I know you guys have been waiting because I announced this morning, I broke the news this morning, the arrest of Mr. Brian Linton, the brother of Lennox Linton this morning. My sources indicate that Mr. Linton, Brian Linton, the brother of Lennox Linton, was arrested in Marigot this morning and has been transferred to police custody in Roseau. The warrant for his arrest is dated April 28th, 2025, the same day of the police allege he was required to attend court but did not show up. According to the sources, Brian, he had a no notification request or summons to be in court on April 28th. In other words, Brian had no information, according to that source, that he should have reported to the court on April 28th, 2025. The last time he was required to show up for the hearing of the incitement to commit treason was on February 17th, 2025. No one showed up, and he was advised that the magistrate was not sitting on that day. He received no notification at the time. I repeat, he received no notification at the time of the adjournment of the matter. The sources or the source indicates that he reports weekly to the Marigot police station in compliance with his bail conditions. When he reported today, May 27th, May 27, 2025, exactly 1 month after the arrest warrant was issued, he was taken into custody to be held until the next scheduled hearing of the matter on September 23rd, 2025. As we speak, Brian Linton is being held at the state prison at Stock Farm until the next hearing of the 2022 incitement to commit treason, that case, brought against him by the police, scheduled for September 23rd, 2025, or until such time the court grants bail. So that's the information from a very informed source as to the whereabouts of Mr. Brian Linton after he was picked up by police this morning. I just spoke to his lawyer, and he will be investigating the matter. And maybe we'll be briefed a little later on just what happened. Our guest this afternoon is Mr. Andy Jolly. You know him, the outspoken businessman. But before we get there, let's take a few calls. I suspect some people want to comment. On the telephone, hello, talk to me, yes?
Yes, Matt, I have to comment, Matt.
I know.
Because I just find that is pure wickedness. Every week the man coming in the police station to report, to sign his name. Even if you have a warrant for him, well, you cannot tell him there's a warrant outside there for you to appear in court. Today, when he come and sign, while they're arresting him and taking him straight to Stockholm, but so many policemen that are taking people to court. So, a couple of years ago, a police accused Frank's sister beating him. He arrested her. coming down to court. No get warrant was sent to get that police. He was never arrested. The same thing in Buju mother. Buju mother went to court several times. I was a witness there with her. When you're looking at the policeman that brought the charges against her, that took her to court. Martin man come to court once and presented his case, the so-called lying case. And next thing you know, the man never appeared in court again. And every time we in court, and the magistrate saw it fit to watch that little lady there and that giant man and say she abused him. Matt, we living in Dominica, Matt. But when things will start to happen in Dominica, I hope people don't say it's mal that happened and mal. But God, we did too many things for God, and it's time for work to happen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye again. We just commented there briefly on, of course, the situation with Brian Linton now in Stock Farm. And, of course, as I expressed, according to my source, he signs every time at the Marigold police station. So something may be very wrong. Somebody says, Matt, I'm not a fan of Brian Linton, but this is abuse of the justice system. Again, just to emphasize, according to Brian, he had no notification, request, or summons to be in court on April 28th. The last time he was required to show up for the hearing of the incitement to commit treason on February 17, 2025. No one showed up. No one showed up at the court. And he was advised that the magistrate was not sitting on that day. He received no notification of an adjournment on the matter. As I said, the lawyers or his lawyer is looking into the situation surrounding the arrest of Mr. Brian Linton this morning. Hello? Yes, good morning. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Matt.
Here.
Matt, I find that is unfair. If it's so that happened, that is unfair. You don't treat a human being like that. Because if he has to report in every time he has to report, nobody can tell him, well, whatever, I don't know about case. The case is on that bit or what. No police officer, nobody. That is wickedness. Real wickedness. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you too. Okay, another telephone call. We'll go until about 1:30 with that, and then we'll continue with our guest, Mr. Anderson Jolly. Hello, talk to me. We'll get more reports subsequently, and we'll share with you. Hello, yes?
Mr. Parliamentary,
yes, hello.
remember this morning when I was speaking of Brian Matthew, and I said Brian Linton, and I
Yes.
sent my greetings, Matt. I was completely, uninformed. I knew nothing until you said that they arrested Brian Linton.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, no wonder, you see me, I like justice. I can have equal rights. You mean I can have the equal rights of the man that's sitting with you there, Matt? When you're big, Matt.
Right.
When you're big, you're big. Terry can go drive recklessly downtown and knock down anybody. He will not be arrested. But if I just push somebody and they fall awkwardly and they call police, I'm arrested. I like Europe and American them. Because, Matt, you see this like a rogue nation. You see these dictators we have in the Caribbean. When they sanction the countries, they come in and talk about, American world police and all the caution they come talking about, reparation and colonialism. Now the modern dictators and slave masters are people like you. People in your same skin, Matt. So the Minister of National Insecurity, I wonder what he know about that. Lincoln Corbett, is it mischief making, Matt? Is just being abusive because they are in power. If what I read, I just checked it there on my phone by Mr. Daniel Uge, and you're stating the same thing, Matt, how he was uninformed, he was present, and then no magistrate show up, blah, blah, blah. Now, all of a sudden, he going and report. He reporting every time. And all of a sudden, you're arresting him to embarrass his brother, embarrass the family, and to change the narrative of the criminal publicity. So when all of them do all the nastiness and they get sanctioned by Europe and America and them, and they come crying, I hear Vince and Skerritt and them fellas like to talk about America and those countries that spending all their money for war. The money could be used in better things to help third world countries. Who all you criminals think are you fooling? Huh? And all you spending the country's billions and steal it and stash it and build all your mansion? Why, mad boy, you see me? God know why he take all my tomatoes. But you know why tomatoes are? God know why he take all my tomatoes. Because I don't like injustice. All right.
All right, blessings. Thank you very much. Now, somebody's expressing, Matt, the only way he could have been brought to prison was if he was served for court and didn't appear, or if he was in court and told to appear and he didn't, then a warrant or summons, he may have disobeyed, would be prepared for the arrest. So if the information you have is correct, then that's not right. But there is another story. Again, I'll be speaking to the lawyer involved. I think his lawyer is Mr. David Bruni. He has basically advised me that he will be talking to his client, so we'll know a little more when he gets that information there, okay? So that's the latest as it relates to Brian Linton. Uh-huh. So let's say good afternoon there to, of course, I'm sure he has a comment as well, but before we get there, let's take a phone call.
Let's take a phone call.
Yes, hello, yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. How you doing, Matt?
Good afternoon to you, Soul Poos.
Matt, yeah, man, how you doing, Matt? This thing about Brian is very, very cool. It's very confusing, man, because Brian haven't received any summons. You're charging Brian for incitement and treason of a case that you did not summon him for. Brian report to the court every day. Even when there's no police at the Margaret police station, Brian report to the police station. So Brian is a guy, Brian always important in a sense that he obliges and he respect the law. He shows up every time the law asks for him. So why would you come and arrest Brian this morning? As a matter of fact, taking him to Stock Farm. We have him in Stock Farm all now. This is nonsense. Now the people are troubling the people of Margaret. They must remember that the people of Margaret and Margaret is the gateway of Dominica. We can close the gates of Dominica anytime, man. They're forcing us to close the gates of Dominica. I asked who's just Skerritt and Corbett and Advance and all them fellas that do their doing things. Tell them fellas, check themselves before they wreck themselves. You want to arrest Brian, you arrest Brian now, and I know you're ready for me. I know they're coming for me. But I want them to come for me.
Again, I don't know what's wrong with yourself. Are you still there? No, sorry. We have lost you there, Soul Post. He reports to the Marigot police station. They're coming there weekly. So all they had to do is to send a warrant there to Marigot. I mean, and it looks like a case. I'm not any lawyer, but it looks like a case of distraction.
Well, maybe it is. The weaponization of the police is one that we've seen before, Matt. So this is not anything new. I'm going to tell you, and here's what I'm also going to tell you. We talked about this a little while, and this is a big distraction. And the question is, why you're arresting somebody? Well, they're related to Lennox Linton, and we know that Mr. Roosevelt Skerritt has a long past with Mr. Lennox Linton. And even though Mr. Linton has been so-called gone from the limelight of politics, I think there's still some hatred for Mr. Linton, and I can understand the hatred for Mr. Linton if I was to say so, simply because Mr. Linton is a very educated man. He's very well researched. He's very well spoken. Mm-hmm. And that is something Mr. Skerritt does not have. He's not very well versed when it comes to, well, I'm not speaking the truth. When it comes to telling jokes, I think he may have a leg up on the telling of the jokes. But Mr. Linton is a very well versed man. He's very informed. He definitely reads for the information. But I mean, I think Mr. Scarrett has seen that he really cannot get to Mr. Linton. He has thick skin. We call it thick skin in Dominica. So what do? You can get to the relatives, you can get to the family members, you can get to the friends, and that's how you can create fear among that person, because when that person sees their family members being tormented, they will be forced into a position where they have to concede defeat, you understand, or relax themselves a little bit. So we've seen the law being weaponized, and who knows who's doing that, and it's a very childish game. First of all, and this is where I come from, I'm a businessman, and as a businessman, the thing I worry most about in Dominica, Matt, is about our resources, how we use them, because we do not have infinite resources, and we have more serious criminals out there that we should be dealing with. And for you to take somebody who's not a known criminal or a serial criminal, and then you bring them up to Stock Farm where you have to feed them, house them, much less to have police take them there. You have to use the police vehicles. I mean, it's a real waste of resources. If you're going to come to me and arrest me, I'm going to tell you, don't come. I'd prefer if I just drive down. I can come to you, because if there's something that I've done, I'm pretty sure that I can defend myself, or I have the resources to do it effectively. So don't come and get me. Just tell me where to meet you and I'll show up. And I don't think Brian is a very violent man, to the point where you have to, put him under this heavy stress. You can arrest somebody and then release them on their own recognizance. So not a problem with that. But there's this heavy stress in this administration, and even in the police station, to make a statement out of these things. And I think they know now that people will get a rise out of this. If this would never even make news, Matt, I don't think they would even do it, to tell you the honest truth, because it makes no sense arresting somebody if it's not going to make the headlines. But you know what I notice again, Matt, that I think this administration loves? The website breaking news, because every little thing is breaking news in Dominica. I mean, literally, if I hit my toe and I send a picture of the toe into breaking news, it's going to make breaking news. So in order for this administration to get publicity, especially if they want to reach the other teams or the other people who are not their supporters, then Dominica breaking news breaks every 30 minutes. There's always something on Dominica breaking news. And not to say that we don't have news, but everything can't be breaking news, right, Matt? I mean, breaking news is once a day. Oh my God, something happened. This was really good. But I think they use this as a platform in order to get social media on their side. Their social media and their people who would look at their content, the current government content, is a very small population. So in order to get people interested and people talking about you, this is what you have to do. You have to make news.
And of course, the news of the week, somebody else is suggesting, is Mia Motley come to Dominica. No, you want a distraction.
Well, you want a distraction, and you want to get those people somewhere else. You want to get their minds moving. And I expressed this thought, I think last time I was on the show, that Mia Motley's coming, and we're making all these grand plans. I don't know, you saw the flags up on the post, which were raised. Whoever bought the red cloth, I hope they got a good price. I mean, that's where I come from. I want to make sure that we got a good deal on the red cloth, because we're sure using a hell of a lot of it. I'm going to tell you that right now. And the yellow cloth as well. But Mayor Motley coming to Dominica and celebrating our so-called 70th anniversary of labor, I'm going to tell you, Mayor Motley is way above the skill level, or if you want to put it a way that probably most Dominicans can understand, way above the pay grade of Mr. Scarrett. So Mr. Scarrett could learn a lot of probably good things from Mayor. Well, first of all, how to speak, how to address the public, how to address people. He could definitely learn that from he will never, I mean, I don't care what shoes he walks in, he will never be like Mayor Motley. I mean, that's just the end of that story right there. But I think in his presence, he has to show off. And even though our treasury is empty at the end of the
You
month,
say empty?
well, I don't think. I think I got word from somebody in the treasury a little earlier that we're actually juggling to make payroll for our employed civil servants right now. They're juggling. They're trying to find, because man, I told you the system tightened up quite a bit with the increase in taxes that we felt from the U.S.
and CBI money going.
The CBI money, literally. I mean, this thing is drying. It's wrinkled. It's like an old lady right now. It's all wrinkled up, I mean, but it's wrinkling, Matt. And I'm going to tell you, the CBI money has gone away. But not only that, Matt, I'll tell you what else is happening in the world that has really shocked us. A lot of the other nations are now busy trying to take care of themselves. With this whole shakeup in America, they're no longer concerned about the social welfare of the Caribbean or the small countries or the little man. Mm-hmm. And it shows because, I mean, we got USAA dropped. We had a whole bunch of other social services that were dropped by the US government. And guess what? If the US government did that, a lot of the British government followed suit, and a lot of the government over there, they followed suit because everybody said, let's take a look at what's going on. If the US is leading the world in this charge, we're going to follow them. And not only that, Matt, I think the Saudis actually took a look at that as well, too, because we're good friends with the Saudi Arabia. So the money streams have kind of closed in a little on us.
Drying up, huh?
They're drying up. And I mean, Matt, you can see it at the end of this month. There's a long line of civil servants who are waiting to get their monies and their paychecks and their increases. And people are waiting on those things and they can't receive them. So I actually want to see this. And I'm going to tell you why. I actually want to see the rally happen on Sunday.
I see a lot of promotion going on there. Is that really necessary, though?
Yeah, but Matt, you know how much money is being spent just doing the promotion? You shouldn't have to promote something this much to get your candidates up there. Your candidates should be well versed with what you did.
Is there panic?
I think there's a lot of panic at the head right now because the reception for this convention is not. In fact, they're giving away more freebies. And I've seen several emails. I think we've seen a few emails that said, hey, send us your shirt size. Let us know if you're petite or if you're small. Let us know if you're drinking or if you're extra large or extra large. Let us know if you're drinking Soca rum or if you're drinking the special rum. And I'm like, well, we don't drink any of those. We ain't going to that, But here's the thing. It's going to be a fete again. And this is all we get invited to. We get invited to fetes. And at some point in time, you have to be tired of the sea war. And when does the sea war stop and the actual rubber meet the road? And I am actually wanting reporters to go up and look at this and explain to us exactly what Mr. Scarrett is going to proclaim that they have done in the last 70 years. And I don't know if you remember, last time I was on the radio, I told Mr. Scarrett, please listen to me. The best thing you can do is not start any other projects. Please don't start any projects. Don't do anything. Don't dig any more holes. Let's please just try to complete some. Mm-hmm. And every day I drive home, and we said that we were putting a tennis court where the grotto used to be. Have you seen that place lately? Because they sent a tractor in there and they built a long road on that, right up in the corner, right on, is it High Street up there?
High Street.
It's High Street. And what's happened to the tennis court that we were putting? We were putting a world-class tennis court.
Well, I heard they whoever the contractor was, I think the Prime Minister was disappointed about what happened there in terms of.
Oh, he was disappointed. Well, that's the problem. You're going to get disappointed simply because you're jack of all trade, master of none. You have not completed a project. We have the electrical project that we claimed that we were going to get a light bulb lit from. We have no light bulb. Then we have a couple of the hotels that I talked about.
Incomplete projects.
Well, I think this is what he's doing right now. I think he's actually spending the money as much as he can, because in order to stay in power, he has to show that he's doing so much. But what he doesn't realize is smart people will know you're doing plenty, but you're accomplishing nothing. And really and truly, we've actually sent Mr. Scarrett up there to accomplish things. And every time he goes up, on a forum to talk about it. And I don't know why we don't send some really good reporters. Not that I'm saying you're not good, Matt, but I really want some good questions answered, because everything seems to be a joke for our prime minister right now. It's like all jokingly. And I'm thinking this should be the most serious man in the country, but yet he's joking. But I'm going to tell you, Matt, and I'm here to clearly, I admire Mr. Scarrett.
Okay.
And I know
because you must have a reason.
Well, I have a reason. I don't think most people understand this. I actually have never met anybody who is as good at telling you what the problem is when they caused it, but letting you know that there's a problem, and it's almost making you feel like you were responsible for the problem or you were the one to fix the problem. And I saw that again so clear in that education thing that you played a couple of days ago. Was it this morning? This morning. You played the education track, and I'm thinking to myself, here is Mr. Scarrett telling us once again that the education system has a problem, but he doesn't have his education minister come out and tell us what she's fixing. He mentions the problem, and he's talking about the problem like it's us created the problem, and he is approaching the problem, that telling us about this problem and not bringing up any solutions, not telling us what he's going to do, but however making us feel like we're the ones who set kids up for CXC. It's your standard. You've created the standard. And he did the exact same thing with the garbage the other day. And he came online and people asked him, hey, what about the garbage situation? And he said, well, the garbage problem is caused by people. People are not utilizing the garbage system properly. What you should be doing is you should be composting in your back of. And I'm thinking, wait, what happened here, Matt? What happened to our garbage trucks? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to go compost stuff in my hair, but garbage is a system. And here we are. We're treating rats in Roseau. We have garbage piled up. And I have to say thank you, whoever is in charge of solid waste. I have to commend them slightly because it has improvement. In the 4 weeks I've been here, I have seen that we've improved a little bit. But I noticed it's all flatbed trucks, because I saw the notation that Antigua got 10 garbage trucks.
And we got one.
A dump truck. Well, you know why that was, Matt, right? Because Antigua sent the same amount of money as Dominica, but the person who was negotiating for Dominica apparently bought one truck, and the person who was negotiating for Antigua bought 10 trucks. So I don't know what's going on there, but it was the same amount of money both of us sent. Antigua sent $10, Dominica sent $10, and Antigua ended up with 10 trucks. Dominica ended up with one flatbed. What's wrong with us?
And now... this morning I said government, somebody said in a text message, is looking to reallocate money for education. The amount of books to carry is just a distraction. That's a hook for the people. And here's a comment from an educator. Can you imagine what would have happened if Dominica took the Caval campus from Barbados and relocated it to Dominica or to Roseau? I used to have respect for Mia, but after learning of the underhanded way in which she and Hartley Henry undermined the economy of Dominica, stealing bread from the mouth of the people, I now realize she's all talk and full of it. Action speaks louder than words. People are very upset about Ross leaving Dominica.
Well, and here's the thing, Matt. I think the Portsmouth people are probably the ones that should actually show up at this rally, because guess what? She is directly responsible for the collapse of Portsmouth. So all the laborites from Portsmouth, I would really like to see them show up. This is why I'm telling you, I want to see this rally. I want to see how many people are going to go to this rally. I mean, after all the nonsense that we've had, I mean, here it is, Matt. I am standing in the middle of the road in Newtown, and people are coming up and putting up signs with Mr. Scarrett's face and Mrs. Motley's face on the post. And I'm thinking, you're putting it up on the post. Right below the post, Matt, is full of garbage. Nobody's picking up the garbage, but they're putting more garbage on the post again. And Matt, I asked myself, what's going on here? Isn't it supposedly illegal to put things on Domlec's post? It's supposedly, it was illegal. You cannot put things on the post of Domlec because guess what? You actually have to get written approval. But I guess the government owns Domlec too, so what the heck? It's all one family, right? Is that what we're doing now? So Mia Motley, I think, has done several underhanded things to Dominica. But I'm going to tell you.
Do you really want to blame Mia?
I don't want to blame Mia because I think, you know what? If the people of Dominica want, they can go celebrate Mia in, where are they going? Dubla? Isn't Dubla? Is that where they're going? They can go celebrate down there.
Didn't we have a chance to negotiate with the Ross University?
We had a chance. We failed. And again, it's the same thing. Antigua got 10 garbage trucks. We got 1 flatbed. I mean, everybody knows what our negotiation power is. The same thing. We had a chance to keep Ross here, to work with Ross. But you know what? Our government is so hard stance. It's the same thing, Matt. Remember when Ruby's gas station left? And then our government had to go back on their knees and beg Ruby's to come back in here again. What is it? Poor negotiation. We cannot understand what we're doing. But go down to Barbados. See the nice freeways they have down there. Take a look at the economy of Barbados. Take a look at the beautiful marinas that Barbados has. Take a look at all the great things that Barbados has. And then you bring Mayor Motley over here and have her run on those roads that have potholes in it. Instead of us taking the money and filling up the potholes in Newtown, we already have money to put red flag on the post, and we already have money to put red cloth on the post, but we don't have a little dirt and some cement truck so that we can fix the 2 potholes in there. Instead, we have everybody calling them Shakira swimming pool. Instead, what's going on? Why can't we get ourselves together? It's our leaders are not focused. They're not doing what they were sent up there to do. And I'm going to tell you, this rally is a sign. This rally will become a sign because I would really like to hear what the government is going to tout after 70 years. I don't want Mr. Scary to go up there and say what he's building. I would really like to hear what he's accomplished. And I think the only thing Mr. Scarrett has successfully accomplished in Dominica is building a house for himself in Mont Daniel. Now, mind you, Matt, I'm going to tell you, we had no need to build that house in Mont Daniel. You know why, right? The Prime Minister has a residence in where? Mont Bruce? Don't we have a residence for
the Prime Minister?
Why did we need a second one? What was wrong with the first one? I don't know. Nobody has ever asked this question. Nobody has ever said, hey, what was wrong with Mont Bruce? Why did we have to switch to Mont Daniel? Not that I don't like him in Mont Daniel. I think he's, up the real estate value up there. It's made a few people a few bucks. And now he's building another hotel. Man, I'm going to tell you a story. This story.
He's building another hotel?
Yes, I actually lost a lot of confidence 2 weeks ago. My mother called me up and said, hey, come over for dinner on Sunday night. And I was driving up there and I'm going to go see her. And I passed by the place. And I passed there probably 4:40 in the afternoon. And everybody knows he's building another castle up at Mont Daniel, and it's quite impressive building. It's huge. I mean, I see no sense for a big building like that, but it's a big building, man. And I'm driving back there, and I stop for a second, and here we have it that Chinese employees are the ones doing the work at so-called residence of Mr. Scarrett. And I said, well, here's the thing. You have our Prime Minister. This is the guy, the chief cook and bottle washer, as he so-called proclaimed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's using Chinese workers. He didn't hire somebody from Newtown. He didn't hire somebody from Vacaz. He didn't hire somebody from even Dominica. He didn't even hire somebody from the Caribbean. He has Chinese workers up there doing his work for him. Anybody think I'm lying? You can go up there and drive up there and take a look yourself. I'm not a liar. You can go up there and take a look. But Matt, here is what kind of patriotism is this? This is a man building his personal castle. But he doesn't want us as Dominicans to build it for him. But he wants us as Dominicans to pay for it for him.
Pay the taxes.
Pay the taxes, pay the maid, pay the grass cutter, and sometimes even pay the Chinese.
We're going to take phone calls. We always want to interact with Mr. Andy Jolly. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is Suki here. I need to make a contribution to assist Mr. Jolly on his exercise.
Okay.
The thing about it is Mr. Jolly should be aware as to what happens at Labas. I take my truck, my dumper truck, collect my garbage and empty boxes from my business places at Newtown. I take it to Labas, but here it is, I am directed to a scale for me to be able to weigh my truck for what I bring in privately, whereas the government cannot maintain your truck. Okay? I thought there would be a way for compensation to me in a matter to allow me to carry on. Even when the self-help program was on, I took rubbish from the other areas and then take it on to there. I said, hey, this is my contribution to keep my area clean. They said, no, we don't need about that. Go and weigh what you have, and then we will send you a ticket. This is basically unfair. And many of us merchants are going through that very same process. We use our vehicle, and then we still have to pay in a matter to take the rubbish to the Labas. That needs to be amended. That needs to be changed. Okay? The next thing about it, sir, you take all red
cloth
posters and place on the walls and the posts. But what is significant about it is that you take yellow, the color yellow, and put between the two sections of the red, and that yellow signifies the close connection between Dominica and mainland China. All there is, if you watch the flag of China, it is red and yellow. All there is that they just need to put a little star on the red, and this would be the flag of China. So we are getting extremely close to the Chinese mainland, even in their flag. So possibly the way it is structured means to tell us that, A, you are on the way for the new colonization of this country. I thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think based on my information, Mr. Suki, the yellow is signifies me or Motley. That's a calling
Matt, I don't think we should knock Mr. Suki on that. I don't think he lied. Because
I'm not saying
here's the thing. You see, I'm going to tell you, I like Mr. Suki.
Okay.
And here's my reason. The guy's a hard worker, and he has always, if you ever know anything about Herbert Suki, he's always been an entrepreneur. That is probably a man that is cowling in his pants right now because he's afraid of working for the Chinese, because he'll be working for somebody now. So pretty soon, I agree with him. We'll be working for the Chinese. Everything that we do, they'll be telling us what to do here shortly, because they've already put up the red and the yellow on the post. All they're missing is a star, like he says. So it's not far away, Matt. Suki will not be the Dominican entrepreneur like we know. He'll be probably the hardest Chinese worker.
Yeah, we remember a story with Suki a couple of years ago. In a Chinese, he went in to buy some stuff, and it was a mess. So he brought it back, and they almost had a fight in the store.
That happens all the time. Yeah. I don't just think it's. I think here's the thing: we take examples from this, but there's so much going on right now.
Just a question though: have you ever heard of a Chinese national being arrested?
Matt, I don't think the Chinese nationals shop in Dominica. I don't think they vacation in Dominica. I don't think they spend any money in Dominica. I've never seen a Chinese gentleman with a passport, or not a passport, a wallet. Sorry, I've never seen.
Really?
I've never seen them shop. I've never seen them doing any business here. I've seen them opening shops here. But as to where they spend their money, I don't believe it's in this country. So we have a problem. Not only that, most of the buildings that they've built, Matt, who's built them for them? Not Dominican workers.
The
Chinese.
Hello, talk to me, yes?
Yeah, blessings, Mr. Peltier, Dr. Jolly, blessings to all you.
Blessings, yes.
I want to engage all you for a minute. Dr. Jolly, Mr. Peltier, You have a child, and on the teenager, he steal your jewelry, and he come and sell it to me. It may be worth $10,000. I give him $1,002. Who should you blame, me or the child?
You should blame yourself.
No. Oh. When you have a delinquent, juvenile, and puerile, senseless leader like Skerrit going to Mia Motley, and Mia Motley take Ross University from him, then you're blaming Skerrit alone. Now you want to blame Skerrit, but you're telling me you're blaming me, the adult. Mia Motley is the adult in the transaction, Matt. Intellectual.
But your analogy, you said a child and an adult.
I don't think anybody's blaming anybody. I'm going to tell you, Mia Motley is a politician, and if there's an opportunity that comes up and there's an opportunity to engage to make her people better than they are presently, I think she's going to take it. Any politician is going to take it. The problem was that our politicians were so delinquent and our politicians were so detached and so arrogant in their negotiations, they lost the transaction. Which they've lost a lot of transactions before. This is nothing new.
But based on what my information is, when the crew from Ross University came to negotiate, the Prime Minister did not go himself.
But Matt, he never goes himself.
He sent somebody else.
And this is how we ended up with one flatbed, because nothing's being done by him. Because that's why I'm telling you, I revel at the way that the Prime Minister talks about things, and he almost makes you feel like you should have been there. It was your fault. It wasn't my fault. I am just bringing you the information. I mean, he talks this way to us all the time. Matt, you do not need a big fridge. You do not need a fridge that has water and ice in it. What you should do is get a butter container, and you should put water in the butter container, and you should put it in your fridge. You're the problem. You are the one you don't need money in your pocket. You're the one who thinks you're the problem. If you just go get a butter container and put it in the fridge, it'll make ice.
Blessings, you're still there. Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, just quickly. Just quick. I hear Doc talk about the Chinese. Can you imagine not every major infrastructural work Mr. Suki have ever right with his suspicion? It doesn't matter if it's Barbados yellow. Skerrit how cunning he is and deceptive. It might be that yellow there signifies two things, and I agree with Suki. Well, we're missing a star. I am just saying, Matt and Doc, it is deliberate. It is by design. It is systematic on the way things are going. And I still stand my ground, because when you have sophisticated people like Ashley Henry, Peter Wickams, Mia Motley, was he led into making what appeared to be a mistake, or he just do it on his own, or was he tricked into doing it? Was it the Chinese, or was it the Chinese who tell him they cannot afford to have the Americans on the island? So I have to admire a man like Dr. Jolly and Suki and other people who choose to stick the necks out, because the situation merits that the sacrifices have to be made, because this is your country where you was born and raised. And as I said, no wonder, why is his name not Pastor Sinclair?
Mm-hmm.
Remember this one when I called the first time and talk about all the pastors, the Dominican Christian Council of Churches can watch that level of brutality, barbarianism, the savagery against the Dominican people, and they're preaching about things that happened 10,000, 2,000, 500 years ago. How much years ago? 500. And they cannot see what is happening now. So that may have angered him. And I am saying, when these people that know so much about the Bible cannot see what is happening right in Dominica, Matt, I can't come to your church and sit down and pray like I want to go to heaven. This is my hell and this is my heaven. So really and truly, Matt, Skerrit know exactly what he's doing, and the Chinese are aiding and abetting Skerrit in recolonizing Dominica. Thank you.
All right, just before you comment, Andy, I just want to, of course, there's a disconnection notice there coming from Domlec. So Dowasco reminds its valued customers, and sorry, Dowasco, of the disconnections, both residential and commercial accounts being during the month of June, and there are various cycles to take place on one cycle. I'm just trying to get to open up that thing and I read it to you. For example, cycle 1, June 2nd, Roseau, Bath Estate, Elmsall, Louisville, Newtown, Citronette, Kingshill, Castle Comfort, Beaubois, Gaumier, Girondel, Eggleston. That's from June 1 to June 2. So that disconnection. People in cycle 2, that involves Wallhouse, Loubier, Point Michel, Soufriere, Scott said Galion. Okay? Cycle 6, I think, June 5th. That takes us to Tibet, Picard, Glanville, Portsmouth, Lagon, Tartan, Gillette, Savonpie, Mona Louis, Tukari, Cottage, Clifton, Capuchin. On cycle 3, June 10th, okay? Pottersville, Goodwill, Santa Roma, Stock Farm, Faucolet, Canefield, Roger, Antrim, River Estate, Mont Daniel, Check Hall, Les Point, Massac. So please, you need to pay your water fees. I just want to make that connection there. There was caused a disconnection notice there. So if you have not paid, yes, so you say
but you read that like as if you have money to go and help the people who paid. I mean, why are you reading that on the station? I mean, this is more depressing than anything else. People, how is that Mont Daniel has the last cycle?
And of course they might find money. You might find money to go to Gil Blanc.
But how that gonna work, Matt? If the people have not gotten paid yet, they have no money. How are they gonna pay this water bill? Not only that, Matt.
Today's what?
Today's what, the 26th, 27th? Where are we? The 27th already? 27th already, Matt.
27th, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you gotta go. But Matt, here's the thing. Dowasco went and increased the water bill significantly.
And the Prime Minister said he's going to correct it, but
he has not. Well, I've told you several times, I've come on this station, and I think anybody who believes anything the Prime Minister says by now, I've been down here for a while, and I haven't heard one factual statement come from our Prime Minister for the last 6 months. I don't know if anybody's out there, whoever's listening in Radio Land or TV Land, send me something factual that the Prime Minister said he was going to do that he actually did. I don't have one thing for this year as yet. We've 6 months in the year. I mean, well, June's coming up, right? I don't have one factual thing that he actually said that he would do. And not only that, I mean, he's made several appearances, whether it be, C. Warren giving out beers, giving out drinks, giving out handouts. But where's the actual commitment to the Dominican people? Where's what you've done for the people? Where's the improvement project for this or for that? I'm very disappointed in our Prime Minister. I think he has 0 things on my list for this year. He's not. I cannot trust anything that. If somebody can send me something, I will give my number out.
If you had to give him a grade, what would grade you give him this year?
Matt, there's 0 on my list so far. I don't think
you said 0.
He's not, Matt. He has not said one thing this year that he's actually done. And I'm going to go back a little further. I'm actually going to go back till June last year, because there's nothing that he's actually said that he would do that he has accomplished as yet. And if anybody out there can give me one thing,
you're going back as far as June.
I will send you $500. If you can verify that he said he was going to walk on Bayfront, starting on the top at Fort Young and end at the waterfront down there where we have the cruise ship terminal. Oh, no, it's not the cruise ship terminal. What is it? Is it the dock?
Oh, you mean the ferry terminal?
Ferry terminal. I apologize. We don't have a cruise ship terminal. That was just a mistake on my part. I think he said he was going to do that too, right?
Yeah.
But if there's one thing that he said that he was going to accomplish, that he actually accomplished, fine. And then we had the scandal. This is the biggest scandal. Matt, you know me. I made most people don't. I mean, most people don't know me out there, but Matt knows me. I made most of my real money in real estate. For people who don't know, in Dominica, I'm a really good pharmacist. Most of my money that I made, I became a millionaire first in real estate, and then a multi-millionaire in real estate, and I'm a okay pharmacist. I'm gonna tell people, Matt, the real estate thing about the titles that they finally got. So I think his wife Melissa Scarrett came up with that.
She said yes. They have a lawyer.
That is the biggest plow I have ever seen in my life. If anybody knows anything about real estate, that is the biggest real estate hoax for the century. First of all, Matt, in order to give titles for an apartment complex, the first thing that you have to do with the apartment complex is to incorporate it. If after you incorporate, because remember, Matt, you have somebody on the first floor, somebody on the second floor, somebody on the third floor,
Or you might have two people on every floor.
or you might have two people on this floor. But here's the thing, Matt, you cannot give the person on the ground floor the title for the land because they cannot own the land. So nobody can technically own the land. There has to be a corporation that owns the land. That corporation has to be shared by everybody in that building as a percentage. Does that make sense to you so far?
Makes
So the
sense.
guy on the top floor own a percentage, the guy on the second floor own a percentage. And then, Matt, you now have to incorporate it. And then each person has to become part of that corporation in order to own it. Do you know what that would take? I mean, just legally so far, I'm giving you the mile breakdown because I have condos myself. Not only that, you have to administer an association independently to take care of all the dues, because the person on the bottom floor cannot take care of the step on the bottom floor because the guy on the top floor uses the step on the top floor as well. So how are you going to do that? Well, this going to take a lot of work. And Matt, you know what? If you didn't do it at first, you're not going to start now because it's going to be hard. You have to, literally, the logistics of doing that is a nightmare. That thing is going to take 10 years. No one lawyer can handle that.
There's no way one lawyer can handle that.
There's no way. That's impossible. I mean, anybody who believes that you're going to get a title to a first floor apartment, you have lost your mind. I'm going to tell you that I'm a real estate mogul. Man, I owned up to 50 houses at one point. I can tell you, I own a ton load of condos still. I can tell you, the paper you get is to become part of the association. So you don't actually own the condo. You own part of the association. You cannot own the walls outside of your building. You're only responsible for the walls inside. So therefore, Matt, you know where that's going to come up, and that's going to be an important, if we have a hurricane or if we have a fire, who's going to pay? Who actually owns the insurance policy on that building? Because guess what? If you have a fire, insurance, hurricane, you're going to have to replace the roof. You might have to paint the building again. You might have to replace the staircase, the broken doors. Who's the person who's responsible for doing those things? Does anybody know? Who owns all those apartment buildings? Is there a company, association who's managing it, who's monitoring it, who's making sure that they're upkept?
So you're saying that the statement from the minister, housing minister,
is absolutely preposterous. I'm going to use the long word for most.
Is that a vote catching exercise?
I don't know what kind of exercise. First of all, if I exercise at Lindomart over on the grounds over there. I don't know what kind of exercise they're doing, but I think it's a flat out lie. It's not possible. First of all, you can't get one lawyer to do it. It's a significant amount of paperwork. Second of all, if you didn't do it from the start of the building, when you let the person enter, you make sure that the person sign and get in. And from there, the person has the ability to sell their condo. So once those people get title for the condo, now you own inside the building. Now you can sell inside the condo. Right now, Matt, those people don't even have the ability to make changes inside the building. They don't, because they don't own it. So if something happens, if the wall is blue and you want to paint it, you can't even do it because it's not your building.
All right, 4493095. Interesting conversation there with this real estate guy. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Mr. Jolly, keep your $500, but let me tell you what he said, one, you're not going to disenfranchise the overseas people
that state from 5 years from voting. That's one. He keep that promise. And the bigger promise he keep is to continue to mislead the people and fool the people, keep them in the dark. So he keeping that all the time.
All right.
But he never promised that, though. I think he just does that automatically. I don't think he promised to keep us in the dark. I'm going to tell you, in most places that I go, I'm going to tell you, I see labor, because labor is pretty much a very strong force for the Caribbean. St. Kitts, St. Vincent, there's quite a few at Antigua, St. Lucia. There's quite a few. I'm going to tell you, if I was anybody in one of those other islands, man, I would call Mr. Scared and say, you are absolutely insulting the Labor government, because the stuff he's doing, I don't think I think some of the other governments are slightly corrupt. Don't get me wrong, Matt. But this plain out blatant corruption, disregard for your man and your people with the party that you're leading is very poor. And Matt, to see the rest of his subjects follow right alongside in line behind him, it's just insulting. I look at it and I'm like, look, this is follow the leader. I don't know if you played that game in primary school. Follow the leader, follow the leader. You ever play that? I think this is what's going on. I'm so tired of it, Matt. I actually, Matt, you know what I did? I'm going to tell you. I decided not to come back on the show again. It's because I wanted some solutions to it. And I actually went to one of the old ladies in the town. She told me the only solution is to see if you can buy some Brin back. Have you ever bought Brin back,
Brin back?
Brin back. You know what Brin back is? Brin back. You go down to the stores in town and they sell Brin back. And for those people who don't know, Brin back is this liquid. You buy it about I don't know, $30-$40 a bottle, and you go ahead and it's a potion. And you have to look for ways, because I want to bring back Dominica. I want to bring back this country
to where it
was. And she said that's the only way to bring back Dominica. You have to go and buy a bottle of bring back, and probably you can sprinkle it down. But I don't know where to sprinkle it, because you have to sprinkle it all over Dominica.
Let's take phone calls. Hell on the telephone, yes. Real stuff. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? You're not paying attention now. Hello, talk to me, yes. Hello. You listen to the radio, that's your problem. You listen to the radio, so you're hearing me 1 minute after. Please turn down the volume of your radio when you call, so you can get a delay there. Are you there, caller? Yes, go ahead.
Just quickly, Matt. Doc, look at something, Matt. It is a short clip you played this morning pertaining to the changes within the school curriculum. And contrast and compare a university graduate in every home, and now a lack of proper analysis or assessment. The Prime Minister is talking about reducing some of the school curriculums, but he's looking to have a university graduate in every home. So so Doc is correct. What this man has promised and he accomplished, no matter more than to just remain on the backs of the people. But he says still 2050, Doc, so you lost there, you need 500. I need 5. He said he want to be there for 2050 and he's close.
All right, Carl. Thank you, blessings. Of course, Matt, I'm responding to Andy Jolly's question for 500 US or East. I don't know. One thing that Scared said he was going to do, and that he did, is Scared promised to give us electoral reform, and he gave it. His way.
Have we really gotten the electoral reform yet? Because we don't have the money for it yet. Did we get it?
Not necessarily what the people asked for.
Matt, I'm going to tell you. Here's the thing, Matt, and I'm just going to tell you this. If I'm going to give you a short story real quick, and I'll make it really quick for the person on the line. When somebody says they're going to do something, like if I say I'm going to go downtown and buy a shirt for Matt, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take myself, get downtown, go around in the different stores, find a shirt that fits Matt, and I'm going to now purchase that shirt, and I'm now going to bring it back, and I'm going to say, Matt, here's your shirt, put it on your back, and now I have accomplished a mission.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to tell you, this is what accomplishing a mission is. And I have said it on this show several times. Please do not vote anybody who has not run a business because they do not know the meaning of accomplishment. They don't understand what a start to finish is. So Mr. Skerritt said he was going to give electoral reform. Yes, he said in the first 100 days he would do it. Finally, we had a riot and everybody begged for it. He hired somebody to do it. And then we were in Parliament last week because we don't have the money for it. And then, Matt, I'm going to tell you, we don't have the money. We wanted to borrow the money from our bank, NBD, to go ahead
6 million.
and go ahead and start. We wanted, we haven't put the shirt on yet. We haven't even bought the shirt for Matters yet. And not only that, Matt, I'm going to tell you one of my favorite moments last week. I mean, you had me just rolling on the floor. It was when Senator Delbert Paris spoke. And apparently we're not selling passports anymore. Is that what we're not doing? We're not selling passports anymore. We have a new thing that we're doing that Mr. Isaac said that what are we doing now, Matt? Because we're not selling. So I'm now asking all the merchants around Roseau to please remove all your price tags on all your items on your shelf because you can no longer sell anything in Roseau. And I don't understand what we're doing anymore. Are we bartering? Is that what we're doing? Are we exchanging? What are we doing now? What's the plan?
Somebody's asked me to ask Mr. Jolly if he thinks Mr. Skerritt is turning into sleepy dementia Joe Biden because he keeps repeating the same plans, policies, and proposals for the past 25 years.
I actually said this.
Actually doing or finishing them if the Chinese don't offer to do it for him.
I actually did. I said that in electoral reform, we would need a mental assessment for our leader. We have no mental assessment for our leader. For all we know, we could have somebody who's running rogue and who's leading us down the path of darkness, and we're the sheep following them right over the cliff. We don't know that because no mental assessment is in the electoral reform for any of our leaders.
Let me just ask a question because somebody keeps saying that whether you would speak to the audience of Kyrie FM because you're basically singing to the same choir. What would you take an invitation from Kyrie to speak to?
I have been on Kyrie several times. Yes, I would go speak to. My beliefs.
You speak on Kyrie.
I've spoken on Kyrie on other programs. Yes, no, but I'll be
not talk.
No, not talk. I've spoken on other programs, educational programs.
You would speak to your Kyrie audience just like you.
Matt,
if invited to do so.
Matt, I am a very pure substance. The way that I speak to you is the way that I speak to the guy on the road is the way that I would speak to anybody else.
So what you see in the dark is what you see in the day.
This is exactly what you see, the naked truth. And Matt, here's the thing. I think if we go and we try to butter up exactly what we're getting, I think that we're doing ourselves an injustice. I think it's about time that Dominica really tells it as it is. We can no longer hide this, Matt. We can no longer hide that the fact that NEP makes $600 to $800 a month working. We can no longer hide the fact that we have roads with potholes and the only time they get fixed is when Carnival is coming around. We can no longer hide the fact that we have no parking in Roseau and we don't have a bus terminal for the people who live in the countryside areas or out of town. We can no longer hide the fact we don't have a marina. We can no longer hide the fact that we don't have a 5-star hotel. We can no longer hide the fact that Intercontinental has 5 guests in it. We can no longer hide the fact that our roads are in poor state. We can no longer hide the fact that our cruise ship season is done and we have no revenue. And we can no longer hide the fact that we are selling passports. And the last thing, Matt, that we can no longer hide that the Treasury has no money to pay the civil servants. So what are we really hiding behind? What are we hiding behind? Our citizens of Dominica, our middle class has disappeared. Our revenues, people are using their savings to really get by right now. So why are we in this hiding mode? Why are we in this pretentious mode? Why are we going to use our gasoline that we go to work on Monday to Friday to drive to Dubla? Why are we going to Dubla for a free t-shirt? No, I'm going to tell you, if they were handing out $100, $200 bills, please go to Dubla and pick it up, because money is money no matter where it is. In fact, if you can pick up twice the amount, I would. But this is garbage. We are spending money that we don't have. We are living a very pretentious life. And Mr. Scarrett has been using the money from Dominica, which he acquired, and he's been using it to flex all along, man. And we have made poor decisions. This is a classic case. I don't know, Matt. Did you go to convent prep, or where did you go? Boys school?
No, I went to St. Luke's School.
St. Luke's School.
Yes.
Matt, I don't know if you did this in school. Your teachers ever tell you waste not, want not? This is what we did. We wasted. When we had it good, when we could have used it, when we could have done good things with it, we wasted it. So right now, we're being squeezed like cockroaches, and we're going to feel it. We're going to feel the strain on our back, because things are going to get more expensive around us.
Are we already feeling it?
Oh, we're feeling it. We've been feeling it. Everybody's been crunching up a little bit. People don't have savings like they used to have before. You go talk to the bankers. Matt, remember when you could not get into the bank the day before the month end? Remember when there was a line outside? They had to close the bank door. Remember when you went by, probably the so-called Scotia Bank, and there was a line around the block? And if you had to go to the bank or the credit union,
you had to go very early.
You had to either very early, or you had to choose the middle of the month. This is why we have 7, 8 credit unions right now, because the one in Roseville, Matt, there's no need for that anymore. It's gone. Where's the money gone? And look at this. We have Mr. Scarrett, who comes up in front of a platform and cries to us how he loves Dominica, but he has Chinese people working at his house. He comes up to us and he says, I love Dominica. He gives himself a 30% raise. He could have left that money for the young people. Mr. Scarrett doesn't need another house. He doesn't need another car. What is he doing with the extra money, man? You give yourself a 30% raise. What does Mr. Scarrett need? Give me one thing. If anybody can call me right now and tell me exactly what Mr. Scarrett needs a 30% raise to purchase, again, I can't give you money, but I'll be blown away, because I don't know. I don't know why our Prime Minister needs 30% more money to spend on what? He's got all his bills paid for already. What is he spending the money on?
On the telephone. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Matt, and good afternoon, Mr. Jolly again.
Good afternoon.
I would like to ask a question, because I heard something, and I would like to really, knowing that it's the Chinese that are working on the mausoleum that has been built close to the what you call it, the Mabel, Tower of Mabel at Mount Daniel. Is it true? I'm asking a question. I'm a lawyer. The different lawyer paper for me. Is it true the reason why the Chinese are working on it? Because is it true that some of the materials meant for the airport has been transported elsewhere? I'm asking a question,
How would Andy know that?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't know. But here's the thing. I will tell you that Matt, I brought this up on the show before. We have a very sloppy operation when it comes to management of money. I don't know if you've ever looked into that, Matt, before. For instance, and here's what I want to bring to the table. For instance, we have vehicles coming in, Matt. Every month, we've had vehicles coming in for the last X amount of years. And every month, Matt, somebody pays their license, their registration, their insurance, all those things, Matt. And there's taxes associated with that. And in fact, license itself, if you license a vehicle, is a tax. If all those monies were to go towards the roads of Dominica, don't you think we should have perfectly paved roads? Our roads should look better than the roads to heaven, because we have a lot of cars. And we have a lot of money coming from, all those bus drivers, those trucks that are being licensed, the people that come here and drive. They all pay. So that money, if that money was directly being funded to the roads, our roads should be good. Our parking should be good. But I think what's happening is that we have a general fund. We have one place where all the money goes and it gets dispersed accordingly.
You're making a very important point there, Andy, because just check this. The environmental levy was scheduled to take care of all of our rubbish in Dominica.
Yeah.
Now we don't even know where that environmental levy is going to, because
but remember, that's our extra 1%, right? When you bring that in.
On tires, if you have a vehicle over 10 years old,
Yeah.
you're paying $3,000.
Yeah.
And a lot of vehicles coming in.
So why isn't the money being dispersed accordingly? Why isn't levy money have a levy bank account? Why doesn't license money have a license bank account? Why doesn't duty money have a duty bank account? So Blue raised a very important point. So cement for the airport versus cement for Mont Daniel could be the same cement. We don't know. There's very poor control of these systems. So no wonder that questions like that have to be asked when things like that come up.
Fair question.
That's a fair question. I wouldn't knock that question because, to frankly tell you the truth, the way everything else goes, Matt, it's possible.
All right, let's listen to this conversation. I went back in the archive and pulled up this one.
I mean, you know, I think we build too many big homes in Dominica sometimes, you know. Because, Madam Speaker, if you give me a check for my house, I give it to you, you know. If you want to buy my house in Dominica, I sell it to you, you know. And I've been so smaller, so I have less maintenance issues and things, you know. so if you know anybody want to buy a house, Madam Speaker, my house is for sale. You see what I'm saying? So we have to watch those things. You understand? We have to watch those things because these things can affect the quality of our lives. Because if all we're earning is to pay somebody who we owe, then what are you gonna hold in your pocket to eat and to drink?
I want to play that statement again.
Wait, Matt, I am actually looking for a house in Vegas. Can you contact him and tell him I'll buy the house in Vegas? If it's too big, I want to buy the house.
I mean,
you know, you don't need a big house.
I want a big house.
I think we build too many big homes in Dominica sometimes, you know. Because, Madam Speaker, if you give me a check for my house, I give it to you, you know. If you want to buy my house in Vegas, I sell it to you, you know. And I've been so smaller, so I have less maintenance issues and things, you know. so if you know anybody want to buy a house, Madam Speaker, my house is for sale. You see what I'm saying? So we have to watch those things. You understand? We have to watch those things because these things can affect the quality of our lives. Because if all we're earning is to pay somebody who we owe, then what are you gonna hold in your pocket to eat and to drink?
No. He's saying these things, but he's doing the complete opposite.
But Matt, if he offered me the house for sale, I would buy it. Because you know why? I can actually afford it. And Mr. Scarrett, I don't have to pay anybody for it. I'll give you a cash offer for the house in Vegas. You come to my office Monday, anytime after Monday, I'll give you a cash offer for the house. If it's too big, I'll take it off your hands. Just to let you know. That's a statement that you can actually put on the 12 o'clock news. Andy Jolly offers to buy Mr. Scarrett house cash because it's too big for him. And we should, and it's a classic example again, Matt. If you notice how he said that, he actually did the same thing. I said, this is why I admire him. I like him for that. He actually took out the blame on us and said, we are the ones building big houses in Dominica. No, you're the one building big houses, you damn hypocrite. You're the one building houses. And he says, oh man, if you build these big houses, I will have problems and maintenance issues. No. It's our money that's paying for the maintenance and the problem issues, But he switches it around so well. He's the greatest spin doctor that there is. He spins things so well. It makes you feel like I shouldn't go build a big house. What am I doing for a big house? I mean, Mr. Scarrett said don't build a big house. But Mr. Scarrett, I'll make you an offer for your house. I'll make you a cash offer if you see me in my office on Monday.
In other words, don't do it and let me do it. Huh?
Don't do it and let me do it. But I tell him, I'm ready. If he says he wants to say, give him a check for the house. I am offering you a check for your house. Give it to me.
Oh boy. Dominic, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. This is Q905 in the afternoon. Andy Jolly offers a check for the Prime Minister's house. If you know anybody looking for a house, he said, well, yes. Well, Andy Jolly saying, I'm prepared to pay you for your house. We're going to come back.
They did not do it for personal gain. They are the past, the present, and the future of the cooperative movement in Dominica. They are the reason for the financial success of so many. That is why, in this International Year of Cooperative, The cooperative movement honors them at an awards event at the Intercontinental Hotel in Portsmouth on Cooperative Day in July. Each cooperative, the credit unions, the non-financial cooperative, will nominate for awards deserving members past and present. Look out for this grand event in July, an event that brings to focus the spirit of Kudma and keeping the ideal cooperative forever young.
Come check out Jerry Lord in concert Friday, May 30th, 2025 at the Bill Daniel Memorial Park in Goodwill at 8 p.m. Additional acts Julian Rivera, Lily Octave, and N Harmonics. Tickets adults $40, children under 16, $15, VIP $100. Sing, rejoice, praise, testify, Jerry Lord in concert. Come check it out. Be there.
If you know your favorite store, dial it now. 612-1253. That's Mega. You can rely on Mega for some real deals on name brand clothing and electronics. High quality, low price. We are a wholesale and retail store located in Calabishi, right on the main road. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram at Mega Deals Dominica. Like our page. Check out our stuff. Call us. Visit us. Would appreciate that. Come try it on. Love it. Buy it. Mega Deals. Your one and only online and brick and mortar store. Mega Deals is also on wheels. We make it convenient for your shopping. We deliver straight to your door. Email us at info@megadealsda.com. Rely on Mega Deals for some real deals.
On the telephone, what an offer there. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Well, I first heard that the Prime Minister is building a $400,000 house, a moderate house. I wonder if he'll offer his house for $400,000 because that's what they said he was going to pay for it at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, we know.
Well, I don't know.
it's-
I made the offer, man. I've come on your show and I've made several offers. I don't think I'm a very scarce guy. People know where to find me. I'm hoping. I don't think that's a problem. I mean, it's an offer. He said he's offering to get rid of the house. I'm offering cash offer for it because I have cash.
Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon.
Andy.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, you know, this morning you were playing the Prime Minister's statement about education, and I
Yes.
think I had a conversation with you later.
Mhm.
There is, in fact, as I explained, a curriculum division or unit in the Ministry of Education that advises on core and optional subjects and the vision and the view. They advise the ministry on the vision for education in Dominica. It's not the Prime Minister to come and say those things, you know, because he's like taking the wings of the sail of the Minister for Education, for instance, and the curriculum unit who make this determination not just based on a flair of the moment, but after studied research and, you know, looking at the situation at school and making those decisions. So he likes to be the limelight, the star boy, so to speak, and that's not very good for Dominica. And when Andy talks about truth and the Prime Minister and his disingenuous behavior, as he was characterized in the statement you played there about building houses and fridges and stuff like that, you know, using old rusty butter tins to make ice rather than having a fridge that makes it for you, and laughing and giggling about those things, you know, that's the kind of starboy kind of display that he is good at. And I don't think there's anything complimentary about that. And one statement I want to remind the Dominicans about, that the biggest lie, the biggest dishonest, the biggest behavior of dishonesty that Roosevelt Skerrit has visited upon the people of Dominica. When he came on air himself, and nobody put any gun to his brain and said, let us hear a statement from you. He wasn't held up by Brian, Linton, or Larry Clinton, or anybody, and said, hey, you better make a statement about your stay in government. Roosevelt came on his own volition, so to speak, and he said to the world, to the entire universe, and the public of Dominica, that his people had given him a constitutional mandate to demit office at the end of April 2025. And Roosevelt Skerrit pretends that he never said those things. And that is the greatest lie. If a prime minister cannot keep his word, how can you have any confidence in him? Where is his integrity? Where is his character? raise himself as a person of dignity, a person to respect. So therefore, Andy is so correct in everything he said, except one thing. There's nothing to admire a man who publicly lies and deceives people. That is not something to admire in anybody. So he has not served Dominica well. And the only way we can get relief is for this guy to keep his word as he said he would and abide by the constitutional mandate to the meet office. Thank you, my brothers.
Thank you.
Well, you have to understand the position that I'm in, Matt. I think in life you have good role models and you have bad role models. I've had both models my whole life, and I study both sides of the story. And I don't think it's fair that you should study one side. I think you should have both role models in your life. That way,
You need a balance.
you need well, it's not the balance. The knowledge is what you need. For instance, I've seen people that have made millions, and those people have lost it. And I want to know how they lost it. So in case I make the millions, I don't make the same bad decisions, whether it be gambling,
All right.
whether it be prostitution that they were involved or racketeering. I don't want to make those mistakes, but I understand them. So, and then I want to know the good people. Those people had money. They built churches. They built schools. They helped people. They forwarded the atmosphere around them. So I want to learn both sides of the story. So I always recognize a good player for what the good player is. If you're a good guy that does good things, I'll say, hey, you did good things. If you're a bad guy and you did bad things, I'll say you're the best bad guy that I know. But I have to tell people that I've come on your show all the time, Matt, and the $500 offer is out there. If anybody can find, one guy actually texted me and he said, oh, the marina has started. And yes, I get the fact things start. I want to let people know in Dominica, stop being fooled by things that are started. If Mr. Scarrett starts a project, that means nothing for Dominica. We have no means of getting an ROI on our investment. And for people that don't know, it's a return on your investment. That just means you're making the investment. I would like to see our investment return money to the Dominican people, like we've borrowed the money. And Matt, another thing I have about borrowing is that I think our prime minister is one of, I'm going to kind of put this nicely so that people don't say that I said bad things, uneducated financial persons in government. Somebody who believes in loans, somebody who believes in borrowing, somebody who believes in spending, but does not look for the return on the money, doesn't care when the money is going to be paid back or by who. That is financial suicide. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you this as a Dominican man, I am more afraid today than I ever was to see how happy our prime minister is to sign loans. Because I know that we are owing everything we have. The mattress that you're sleeping on is probably not your mattress right now. Just for everybody out there. Anybody who is that excited about going in and taking loans. First, we want a $69 million loan, Matt? For remember to replace the people who got displaced by
69
million, Matt, for phase one. What is phase two? What are we just borrowing phases? I mean, and I heard the young lady speak, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, so eloquently and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, there's a young lady who is telling the prime minister, sir, we do not need to take this loan. This loan is probably unwarranted. It's not clearly defined. We have no way of paying it back. You talk about phase one. What is phase one? Matt, what is phase one of any project in Dominica? Phase one of a project is not the finishing of the project. We have not even clarified how many phases that this project has, but yet we're going to take loans. Our prime minister is very upset at taking loans, and I'm going to tell you this is going to be the downfall of our society. People who constantly borrow cannot succeed. First rule that they teach you in financial school, you need to learn to create money. You need to learn to create investments and create cash. If you do not have that, and you always have to borrow, you will be in debt for the rest of your life. And this is where we are today.
All right. More telephone calls in the afternoon. This is the Talk on the Block. We're here with Andy, outspoken Andy, businessman. Hello, talk to me, huh?
Yes, good afternoon, Matt.
Afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment a little bit on what Andy said, and it concerns the.
And speak up a bit. Speak up a bit. You're a little low.
Yes, okay. It concerns the people who work at the house in Mondania. And I think we need to talk a little more about that. That we see these people, the Chinese, working on most projects, governmental, non-governmental, personal. And you have to ask yourself, the Chinese cannot vote for us. Dominicans can vote for us. So I'm talking to the Dominicans overseas. You see what is happening? You coming down to vote for a man who does not give employment to your people, he gives employment to the Chinese. Since when they took up the initial fencing that was around that building to put up the wall, we had Chinese with those little bobcats digging the trenches to do that. Only Chinese. That's one area we need to look at. Let's look at security. How much security does this man have? Let's look at the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. They mingle with the people. They walk around. It doesn't cost them 2 8-cylinder SUVs driving around town 24/7. That is a cost to the people of Dominica. And another thing that people are not taking into consideration when you talk about the increase of pay, the 30% that Andy spoke about. These are only drops in the buckets of streams of income that this PM gets from the government of Dominica while sitting in office. Like overnight expense, when you go overseas, you get with $300 or $400 per night and that type of stuff. These are all increased income, he and his wife. Now you think about that, and that man comes to you and says, "Oh, I'm the hardest prime minister, I need a raise." And he takes what is 20, 30, or 40%. And he giggles with you. As Andy was saying a while ago, he laughs at everything because we are fools. So I'm saying all of this to say, when will we as a people, whether I'm talking to the people who come down to vote, whether you're Labor Right, UWP, Freedom, whoever, just watch what is happening. With one man's life being improved 10,000%, whereas the average man cannot even buy a bread. Those are the things that I think we need to consider, as well as I want one more point, and that is what Andy talked about, borrowing. What are you going to borrow if you're not going to get a return on that investment, as he asked? You're going to borrow money for something like electoral reform that we've been talking about for the longest while. You're going to borrow money for first phase. How many phases does Andy say? We have 4 phases of that project. So this whole idea of borrowing money without the Minister of Finance even opening his lips to say anything. The man that was Minister of Finance is the one, putting forward those proposals, and yet the Minister of Finance is quiet. What is happening here? Is it a one-man state? Andy, I'd like your comments on that. Thank you.
All right.
Well, you brought up some very interesting points, and I have to tell you, I watched the Parliament, Matt, that we had a couple weeks ago, and I was most disappointed.
Why?
I think our Parliament has lost all sense of morality, all sense of clarity. This is supposed to be a serious place where we go in and we take over the country's business. And this is supposed to be somewhere where people can go in and agree and disagree based on the ideas that are put forward. But what we have right now is this group of people that have, it's like I remember somebody mentioned nobody can disagree with Mr. Scarrett because Whatever he says is correct. Whatever he says is true. We are all going along with it. And here it is that we have Mr. Scarrett, who is designing our financial future for us, who does not have a financial degree, who has never run a business. He has never been an accountant. We have never even seen him probably balance his checkbook. We do not even know, well, we know some of his spending habits and we know he likes to spend, but we do not even know his financial situation because it has never ever been declared publicly. But this gentleman is coming up and telling us we need to borrow more money. And you can see this so blatantly on the wall. It's just a big red flag on the wall that we have a politician who is leading a party asking for money who is not in that ministry. Our financial ministry is being led by who? Dr. McIntyre, if I'm correct. We never heard one single peep out of Dr. McIntyre. He wasn't even nodding his head saying, yes, if we borrow the money, we will be fine. He never came up once to the podium and said, if we borrow this money, we will gain financial success. In every financial lecture I have gone to, they've always warned us. The first thing they warn us, be careful who's talking to you. Is it a used car salesman talking to you because he's going to sell you that used car? He's going to say anything to sell you that used car. Or is it somebody who understands about cars? Is it a mechanic that knows about the car? Be careful who's talking to you. And here it is that he's asking us to borrow the $6 million for the electoral reform,
yeah.
and then another $69 million to relocation of people. But technically speaking, we had CBI money that's all over the place that we are unaccounted for, but we cannot use that money. In fact, we cannot even talk about the CBI program. And our chief financial guy, who I basically have considered a puppet, because that's what I think he is, because I think that financial ministry is being held hostage by Mr. Scarrett. Simply put like that he has not even come out and given us one pointer of financial advice. So who are we going to believe? Are we going to believe the man who has never balanced his own checkbook? When it comes to taking a $6 million loan, this is the person who's signing off on our loan sheet for us. And not only that, I wouldn't, Matt, this is the point of disgust that I had. I am sitting listening to this and I already have a headache, and this is where my head explodes. We're taking a loan from our own bank. We didn't even go to St. Lucia and try to take their money, or we didn't even go to like some other place. Let's go somewhere else and take their money. So in case we default on the loan, we're good.
And they took ours recently, St. Lucia.
Yeah, St. Lucia came to us and asked us. That was a smart thing to do. I love St. Lucia for that. You know, St. Lucia came to Dominica and says, I don't want to borrow from St. Lucia. I want to borrow from Dominica, just in case we don't pay it back. Is Dominicans' money that lose. You understand? But if we lose this money, or if the government defaults, who do you think is going to go to court? You honestly think, in this light, that NBD is going to take Mr. Scarrett to court because he defaulted on a $6 million loan?
Interesting question.
Or is this going to get written off and the public of Dominica is going to lose? Which one do you think is going to happen?
All right, let's take a phone call on the telephone. He has more telephone calls coming there this time there. All right. Are you there, caller?
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, St. Joseph. Good afternoon, Dominica.
Good afternoon to
Matt,
you.
thank you, Mr. Jollies. I really glad the conversation. I want to say I support Suki. Matt, when I watch Mia Motley going to Dominica, I have said that last week and I believe it. Barbados is $1 billion going up debt to China. China can't go on a pulpit and campaign up. They don't want to show themselves like they're participating in Dominica politics. But they have to use their people in the Caribbean like Mia Motley to come to Dominica. She did not go to Trinidad, and trying to convince Trinidadians to support Haman. She come into Dominica because she know we are the mats, we are the talent. So she can walk over us, and she come in for the biggest thing that's going to benefit Barbados even more than Ross University is for Dominicans to continue living Skerrit in power, that she can continue and Barbados can continue benefiting from China and she herself can continue benefiting. Now you talk about the education this morning. Again, that's where Skerrit is slick. On the surface, you may say, yes, it's a good idea. They're working with too much books in their bag. But when he said that, and a kid hear that, a kid will be excited to go to his mother and say, yes, Mr. Skerrit, what he said is good. We need to go to school with less books. So Skerrit is playing tricks on Dominicans, and he's sitting down, and meanwhile Skerrit is not developed in Dominica. And Mr. Jolly, I support you 1,000,000 times. I never see a prime minister spend so much money and you're not seeing the result. I mean, you say something there, you knock it on the nail. The only thing labor rights and Skerrit achieved for the last 25 years is Roosevelt Skerrit and the mansion and his so-called friends that get hotel out of Dominican passport. And I want one thing, Mr. Jolly, do me that favor. Can you differentiate between the passport, the 51,000 passport that sell the money and the money that's given to us for Chinese? And if Skerrit really take the 51,000 passport we sell in U.S. currency and sell it and give it to China to do projects in Dominica where social security not even being paid for, well, listen to me. This man is, oh God, it's amazing. It's a shame to be overseas to hear about Dominica. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you too. On the telephone, good afternoon to you. This is the Talk on the Block, yeah?
Yeah, man. Good afternoon. How are you doing, man?
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Man, do you have any idea which section of the country that Mia Motley is going to pass when she landed at the Melville Airport to come to Jubla?
Well, that's only, I think she's coming from the Melville Airport from what I gather. Yes, that's the only
And
airport.
then she'll be going to Portsmouth or she'll be coming to Bell?
She'll be heading to Dublin from, I don't know what direction, but she'll be heading to Dublin.
But man, actually, right now, Garagan is in Margaret fixing all the areas where the Chinese put up all those concrete blocks. The Chinese were working there randomly arranging some mad max works in Margaret there, concrete in all funny directions. And right now you have Galakan how many days now digging up all the concretes and blocking the roads and putting asphalt there. So I was just wondering if it's on this section. And also you have the what do you call those people that cut in the grass again? I forgot the name.
You mean the NEP?
The NEP. You have the NEP working from Melvin Hall going right down to Bells and cleaning the road like it was never cleansed before. What exactly is happening? What impression is Roosevelt, Skerrit, and Carbon and Advance? What are they doing? What impression are they doing to Dominica? What is going on? I need to know if they are really passing through Margaret, because I know they will not pass through Margaret, but why are they fixing all those potholes that the Chinese fixed? Because Margaret people have been suffering from dust and dust and dust, and we've been complaining all the time. And now they have been fixing, putting asphalt, and it's like a smooth run like it was never done before. So this government has a tendency of doing garbage all the time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yes? Uh-huh.
Well, Matt, I will tell you that a couple of years ago, I researched a little bit about the CBI program that they had because, as I said, I'm in real estate. I like to know what's happening around me. And one of the things that got touched on was basically you could get into the program pretty good and you would get all this funding if you had a project put together, and here would be the project that you put it together. Uh-huh. But what was really going on, Matt, was how you keep the project going was that you started the project, but your project was supposed to finish, let's say, in 2025. For instance, I'll give you a good example. For people who don't know, the hotel that several of the hotels are actually way beyond their due date. And the one that we have, which is in Lale Coco, for most people who don't know, just above Newtown, that was supposed to open, if you saw the advertisement for it, it was supposed to open spring of 2024. Mm-hmm. So if you notice, we're 1 year behind on that hotel. But what would happen, Matt, was the hotels are being built. But in order for you to keep funding of the project that you're doing, you would never finish the hotel. So the hotel would constantly being built. So it's like you building your house, and the contractor comes to you and he says, well, we almost done, but we're missing 10 gallons of paint. But we almost done, but we're missing to put this, and give me more money for this. And basically it's a plow that you basically spend this money. And the contractors, most of these buildings, if you have to look at the balance sheet on them, they've actually been run over budget. But what Mr. Scarrett would like to show Mayor Motley when she comes is that look at all these things that I am doing. So the more that is being done, or the more projects that are being done, the more I would say believable Dominica would look, because you really want to impress people. You say, hey, look at this big building I have going up here, and I have another building going up here, and I have another project going on over here. And all contractors do that, Matt. I don't know if you know that. When a guy comes to you, he wants to build your house for you. He says, look, I have 6 projects. That means these 6 people trust me to do those projects for them. Therefore, you should trust me with your project. And I'm going to tell you that is the number one scheme in contracting, because I would rather give a contractor my job that has one project, which is my job going on, and he finishes that project. And I want that contractor to bring me to see projects that he has completed
already,
not projects that are continuously in the process. So if anyone here can tell me which projects are completed, I will now believe you. But if you are telling me that a project has started, we've had a groundbreaking, we're still working on the project. Projects that we're still working on. We're still working on a tram project. We're still working on a energy project. We're still working on a cruise ship terminal project. We're still working on a marina project. We're still working on a housing project. We're still working on, yes, we have several projects working on. We're still working on what we have 3, 4, 5, 6 hotels that are being built. Currently, we have several schools that are being built. We have several different projects that are taking place. And everybody says, look at how many projects we have going on. Nobody ever comes and sees when these projects finish. And if these projects ever finish, man, there is no financial post-mortem of these projects to actually see what the balance sheet looks like. Most of these projects that we've had are actually failures on paper simply because of budget overrun, poor management cost, and not only that, poor structural building.
All right, Dominica, 449-3095, 449-3096. I think you made reference to a young lady who presented. I want to.
Yes. So she was quite eloquent. I actually really enjoyed her speaking, and I think her speech should be repeated over and over again, because she approached all the points I think that needed to be documented.
Let's see if we can listen to that there. Yes, I think. Yes. Is she?
She was
alone. Because it doesn't matter how we look at it, it's alone. Let me begin by stating that I at any time do not oppose to development or to carefully consider the borrowing money when it is done in the best interest of the people. However, this proposed loan raises serious concerns, which I am hoping by the end of this sitting will be addressed. 1. How will the government ensure that the $69,930,000 be used efficiently and effectively? Even when loans are approved, there is a poor track record of timely project execution. As stated in the resolution of this loan, it will facilitate the first phase of the relocation of Campbell, Good Petit Soufriere, and Sansobe communities to safer locations. How are we going to ensure that when this loan is granted, that phase 1 is actually...
You know what, Matt? She was such an eloquent speaker, and you know what was shocking, Matt? None of the questions that she asked were ever answered. You noticed that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you noticed, we were in Parliament. This young lady stood up, spoke, took good notes, asked questions, but nothing was ever answered. Just listen to it again and take a look.
All right.
Matt, good afternoon again. Matt, please, I beg you, allow me to respond to the guy who's asking which direction Mayor Mott is going to pass. Matt, This Prime Minister we have in Dominica, I said to you before, and I'll continue to tell you over and over again, I do not trust him, Matt. Matt, let me tell the guy, he have heard people say that they're going to put garbage. He have heard people ask to put garbage on the street where me or Matt will be passing. So, Matt, it is a trick to act like the place that is going to, that they're cleaning up and fixing, that's you and me or Matt is going to pass. Matt is a trick. Dominicans, Lord have mercy. That's a trick. She's not going to pass through that street. She's going to pass elsewhere. But what he's doing is to make people believe we fix it up nicely for me and not get to pass. Watch it, people.
All right, more telephone calls coming here. We are quickly approaching the time. I'll give you Andy an extra few minutes.
Hey, I appreciate the extra.
Hello,
you know, you're the only guy who gives extra in Dominica.
Hello, are you there? Yes, hello. You don't pay attention. Please turn down the volume on your radio, or else you'll hear me 1 minute later. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, are you there? Speak to me.
Yes, Matt?
I'm saying speak to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Matt, I am coming on your on Q90 for the first time, but I would like to ask Mr. Jolly two questions. And number one question is that the Prime Minister of Dominica, Roosevelt Skerrit, everybody seems to forget everything that he that is good for the country, especially after Hurricane Maria. When he left Dominica, he reached in New York with a wet shoes in his foot, wet clothes on his body. His friends in New York had to want by clothes to put on to safeguard the people, the human being of Dominica that he represents. The second question I would like to ask Mr. Jolly. After Hurricane Maria, the Dominica population about 70-something to 80,000 people. If he have that responsibility on his own to deal with, how, all what he's sitting down with a headphone on his head, talking against Mr. Skerrit right now with the others in Dominica, what he would do to assist Dominica to bring Dominica back forward from 19 after Hurricane Maria.
So you say he's challenging you. I just say after Hurricane
Maria.
Then what would you have done to bring Dominica back?
I am going to tell you the reason that we had a population decrease that still remains in Dominica is because of the lack of confidence in Mr. Skerrit. Many countries might have gone for hurricanes before. This is no new news. We've been around for a very long time. People will get displaced and people will leave. However, when they feel the need that they can come back, lots of people have come back, but you have to understand the atmosphere here is not conducive to do business. It's not conducive to even live. It's not conducive for jobs. So here it is that we've had Mr. Skerrit run over with a wetsuit, like you said, which is untrue. I'm going to tell you that. Why? Because I was there. I know. And I'm going to tell you that this was show and gimmicks. And if you want to just go back to Hurricane Maria, since then we've had several events where Mr. Skerrit has significantly lapsed in his performance. And many people do not recognize this. Hurricane Maria was nice that he flew over, he cried on the TV and on the radio, and he says, my poor country needed help. Well, we are a poor country. We needed help long before Hurricane Maria, to tell you the truth. And everybody lost a lot of things. But Matt, when they came back, most of these people could not get funding from their insurance. Most of these their businesses were gone and they needed help. They never got help.
Up until now.
None of the businesses got help after Hurricane Maria. And I can tell you because I'm in business. I know if we'd... in fact, the delegation for Mr. Skerrit showed up at the businesses. And you know what they were asking? Can you guys pay VAT this month? How much will you be paying in income tax this month? Can you guys, what do you guys expect in sales? Those people showed up at the doorstep asking those questions, not, hey, how hurt are you? Can we help you? Now, a lot of people don't know Mr. Scared's track record, and he did ask for help. But did that help actually get to the people? And here's what I'm here to tell you. No, it did not. Most of that help that Mr. Scared got after the hurricane went to his friends and himself. And I'm going to tell you, you will note from the record, and you can look this up, same thing happened in COVID. There were several other situations where we were in emergencies. Even Erica, we got assistance. Paho has given us lots of assistance. That assistance has never trickled down to Dominica. Matt, if you ever want to do something as a journalist one day that's going to give you a Pulitzer Award in Dominica, I don't think you can get it worldwide, is go read some of the actual philosophies or charts that were written by this government to the different organizations as to things that they were going to do in Dominica, how they were going to change the country, things that they were going to build. They were going to build recycling centers. They were going to go build fishery centers. We were going to make Dominica independent, climate resistant, the most resistant country in the world. Matt, where are we today? Did we forget all that? Remember, we had a Department of Climate Resistance. How long did that last?
Resilience.
Resilience, sorry. That's disappeared. It's been dissolved. What happened to the private sector in Dominica? The private sector got treated so horribly in Dominica after Hurricane Maria that half of them left. They found greener pastures. And my friend, if you want people to come back to Dominica, it's very easy. Open up your ports, open up your hearts, and allow business to flourish in Dominica. We have a government that is anti-business, and every day it shows it. You want to know why your prime minister has the 6 largest projects in Dominica with one vendor, which is not even a Dominican company? That's because we're going to perish. Simply because these contracts are not being done fairly. Your biggest project in your island is not being done by your people. We are going to be crushed like cockroaches.
Somebody's making a point, ignorance is a very, very...
Ignorance is blessed.
No, listen. Somebody's asking a question which answers the original question. You went to America with wet clothes. Now, if you're ignorant, you'll believe that.
You'll believe, of course, you'll see it. You'll hear about it. You'll be like, oh my God, my clothes are wet from what?
So where and how you reached America with wet shoes? Hello on the telephone. Talk to me, yes? Yes.
When you listen to an adult think like that, it has to tell you a lot of children, they like feeling sorry for some of our little children that would have parents and grandparents like that with no real understanding. Even if you haven't got a formal education, that doesn't make you stupid for an adult to think like that. That is just lying. For COVID, we got $39 million. I carried what he did with that $39 million that was given to him to give to the people during the COVID. Nothing. How much money did King Prince Charles get to Dominica after Maria? We got the most money after Maria. What did we get? So, nothing. And you call me on the radio talking, you went, so you believe that? According to Sparrow, you expect me to believe that? With our wet shoes on, where you get the flight from to get it? We have a grammar school going on there. Melissa tell us in June. For sure in June, you see that grammar school opening in June? We're in June. Look right now, the Chinese building a major project. It's fenced up, so you have to peep inside there to see who building that project. Alongside Astafan parking lot. Chinese that building inside there. For who? For what? That is what they want to know. Don't come and talk nonsense to people so people have understanding, even if some of us didn't go to school. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm just getting some news there. Of course, for potential students going to the USA to study, I'm just hearing from the State Department there, from a press release, that the U.S. State Department has instructed U.S. embassies and consulates around the world to pause on new student visa appointments as it develops guidance to expand social media screening and vetting to all applicants for students' visas, according to a diplomatic cable from just reported there by CNN.
Yeah.
You expect that? Huh?
Well, we expect that. Well, one, remember we had a large problem. Dominica actually ended up on CNN News. Remember, we were not paying our student loans for a very long while, and our students were actually going to be deported. And I know several students that have called me in the past and say, "Hey, can you help me?" And I've helped a few of them. I've helped quite a few of them because guess what? I mean, you're in your last year, you've done 2 3 years, and now you're at the position where you are at the junction that you cannot financially afford the last year of school, and your parents more than likely cannot function to help you with that. So we've had that. But Matt, there's more to come. I'm going to tell you the belt has a few more loops, and it's going to be tightened around our belt, and we need to watch that. And I think where we at now is a very sad state. I recently watched the Prime Minister talk in cabinet again, and he came up with this what is this, a savings plan. Remember last time I was on the show, and some people got upset with me because I wanted Mr. Scarrett to expound on his knowledge of investment and to expound on the fact how he made it big, because anybody who's done well for themselves,
They have a track record.
they have a track record. I mean, success leaves a mark, and I would like him to expound to the youth exactly what he did in order for him to get where he was. And he did so to my surprise. And I don't know if he did so because he listened to your show. I think he listens to your show, man.
All the time.
I'm pretty sure he listens to your show all the time. And he did so very eloquently by explaining to the kids his process for investment. And he asked them once more to save again. And I don't know if you remember that. He said, if you save $5, if you wait long enough, it will become 55. But so 5 plus 5 is 55. And 1 plus 1 is 11. And I shook my head in shame to see that our highly elected official was explaining to our young children how to invest. And this was the same man in the second note who, on the opposite side, went and said, we need a loan for the 5 plus 5 is 55. And then he says, give me more money on the other side, because I'm thinking, how is this possible? You need a loan, sir? And your math states 5 plus 5 is 55. What's going on with our elected officials, man? What's going on here? I'm very confused by this whole thing. I think Parliament is being taken as a joke. It is.
You really think so?
I think it has gone to the dogs, Matt. And Mr. Isaac, and you so well pointed it out, played a clip on there on him. I think Mr. Isaac has to be one of the most biased officials,
Mr. Speaker.
and I don't know how he sleeps at night. I mean, his heart is punished with black all over it. That man, if we wanted to do a seance or maybe some sage, burn some sage, I think we put it around his house, because that is where the devil lives.
Wow.
Right.
St. Vincent just recently was destroyed by a hurricane. Today, St. Vincent has the second best performing economy. My people, stop letting these charlatans fool you. I guess he's making reference to the person who just called and said,
Well, yeah.
we're doing well.
Yeah. And Matt, again, like, if we're doing well, why didn't everybody get a 30% raise? Why did our prime minister, who's our public servant, who works for us, who we gave, Matt, he's doing so well, we gave him a 30% raise and we took 1% or 2%. Did we get a 2% raise, man? What was it?
Maybe
What did the
1.5.
teachers get? The teachers got one. And by the way, somebody sent me a correction. The environmental levy is 1.5%,
1.5.
not 1%. We underestimated it. So
I think from what I got, it was 3%. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
But
They said one.
we'll have to do some more
Well, we
research
might
on
have
that.
to do some research on that. But St. Vincent, good economy led by a very good man. Ralph Gonzalez is down there. He's labor as well. And I don't know why Mr. Scarrett couldn't look up to those type of heroes to probably emulate, because it's so sad that what he's doing is really setting Dominica on a path of unrighteousness. Our children will have to pay for a very long time for this civilization. We will get hurt on this.
I read somebody saying Andy is dropping some bombs here. Why is it that Andy can point out to those issues while those who are in the run for the highest office in the land can't seem to even recognize those issues?
I think he recognized them. I think Mr. Roosevelt scared ignores the issues. You remember, he has a psychology degree. You know, he's a psychologist. He's a good spin doctor. And if you notice, he comes up and he laughs in our faces. You know, the questions that you ask, he laughs in your face. When he come up as a reporter, he takes everything for a joke, which obviously means that there's some sort of psychological issue here at play. And now, you know, I'm in medicine. I see this thing all the time. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Batman and Robin with the Joker. The Joker. You ever watch a Joker? You notice the Joker laughs all the time and then he goes and does evil things. I think this is the same syndrome that we have going on. I mean, because some of these questions and some of these things are really serious issue and they need to be taken seriously. They need to be really addressed. We have really serious problems here and there's nobody sitting down at the helm addressing these problems. So, and you know, I recently got a chance, Matt, to sit down and talk to some of the folks in the UWP party, and we were just, it wasn't like a scheduled conference or anything. This was just a sit down by mistake, and I asked them, do you? This is just probably a general question that we should ask every Dominican. Do you honestly think, if we had an election today, do you honestly see our elected officials, whether it be Mr. Thompson Fontaine or anybody else, whether it be whoever else wins, actually having Mr. Skerritt move out of the house of Mont Daniel and them moving into the house at Mont Daniel? Do you ever see that happening in your dreams?
The question is,
would you ever see that? If you had to dream of something, do you see Mr. Skerritt packing up his bags at the house of Mont Daniel saying, I am no longer victorious, I am no longer the Prime Minister of Dominica, even though he actually came out and said he was done in 2020 for himself? And somebody could have brought that up as a point if he had kept his word and said, hey, I said I would leave office in 2025, and I did. And not even that simple promise that he kept. Keep that in mind. So I still offer $500 for anything that you think happened for the government between June and, it is the 1st of June in about 3 days. So June 1st to June 1st, anything you can bring that Mr. Skerritt actually said out of his lips that he was going to do, and he actually completed and done. Completed and done.
Let's take a phone call there. It's already 3:12 in the afternoon. Hello, yes? Mm-hmm.
Matt, how you doing?
How you
Matt,
doing?
it's a long time you haven't had it.
A long time I haven't had what? I want to be very, very clear with you. I haven't had what?
It's a long time you haven't had a guest that lied so much on your show. Is Andy trying to tell me? Andy's trying to tell me.
No, wait. I want you, because I want to have a conversation with you. Andy's right here. He can defend himself. What has he lied about? What has he lied about?
Matt,
No, I'm just asking the question. I want you to clarify yourself. What has he lied about?
Matt, let me ask you a question, Matt. When Blessing called, how comes you don't cut off Blessing like how you cut me?
I'm asking you a question. I'm not cutting you off. I'm saying why, what did he lie about? That's what I'm asking. I'm not cutting you off. You're on the radio with me. Go ahead, my brother.
Man, let me ask him the question.
Okay.
You made 2 points. Let me make 2 points and I'll get off. Andy's trying to tell me not one project which the government completely. This is nonsense.
But that's not what I said. I want to be very clear with the caller. I said, if you can tell me something that was said Mr. Skerritt said that he would do from June 1st last year to June 1st today, that he accomplished, meaning that he said, I would do this. I would walk I would walk from here to Point Michelle, and he actually set foot on the ground and walked from here. That is what I'm asking, caller. Is there one thing that he said that he was going to do that he actually accomplished?
Can you answer that question?
So Andy, no, you change it to you.
No.
That's what I've always said, caller. I'm on the radio with you.
He's asking me a question, so
I'm
please.
saying that if there's anything that Mr. Skerritt has said that he was going to do, and he has willingly kept his word and done it from June last year up till June this year, because I have nothing on record showing that he actually came up and said something he was going to do, and it has been completed.
Are you still there?
Oh, so okay. So now it's from June. It's not from 20 years. Let me ask one more question.
No. You never said 20 years. It said from June last year. Caller, let's be clear. Let's be clear. Yes, go ahead.
Matt, you brought up that situation with the visa. Now, that visa goes for every student in the world. When you brought that up,
Did I say it was different? Now I just want to engage him, Andy. Hold on. Did I say it was different? I said it came from CNN. A news release.
But Matt, you're not letting me finish talk.
Go ahead.
You're not letting me finish talk. When you said that, Andy said, well, Dominica students are paying their loan, and Dominica was on CNN. Andy haven't addressed the point that the State Department said they're going to slow down student visa. He make it feel like it's a Dominica thing. Is Dominica going to be punished the most? I mean, come on, Andy. You could do better, my brother. Have a good day, Matt.
Well, I'm going to tell you, sir. I understand CNN is a national network, and it's not that international. Sorry, network, and it's not like I am proclaiming that Dominica is the only person responsible for that. But I have to tell you, we do have a big part to play, and I'm going to tell you, we are probably one of the most delinquent countries when it comes to taking care of our students. If you have to look for the Caribbean. So I'm really not pointing a finger at us, but I'm going to tell you the person who's leading the pack more than likely is probably more responsible than anybody else behind them. So we do have a very bad track record. We've had universities that do not want to take our students. We have a lot of parents that are panicking. I remember Mr. Scarrett came up and said, we want a university graduate in each household. And I remember there was one year that we actually won on campaigning that he was going to give scholarships for so many students that were going overseas. I don't remember the exact language, but you can probably play back the track. So caller, I don't want to deceive you in any way, and I don't try to deceive you in any way. And yes, I want to make sure that the record is perfectly clear for you. When I speak here, the things that I speak about, I'm very well researched and very well versed. Not only I travel a lot, I understand how the scales of economy work. We have a very small economy, very small population. We have a very limited room for error, but we also have a very unexperienced politician who's leading us, and he's leading us in all the wrong directions. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I run businesses, and almost everything that I would not do in a business, our elected officials are now doing. The exact way that I wouldn't run my business, that is the exact way that they're doing it. They go to banks and borrow. They go to this. We're not using up the resources that we have. We're overspending. We're under-delivering everything. If I had to run my business the way that Mr. Scarrett runs the business of Dominica, Matt, today I would be penniless. I would have no customers. My customers would have lost total faith in my ability to execute and to deliver to them at any point in time. My bankers would fail me simply because I would not be able to walk in and establish a commitment with them. My suppliers, they would have left me and moved on simply because they have very low confidence in the fact that I could sell their products effectively. And not only that, nobody wants a begging prime minister, and we have a prime minister who is good at begging. Nobody wants a begging businessman. You do not want anybody walking up to you, and every time they do business with you, they're haggling with you, or they want a discount, or they think your prices are too high. Nobody wants that person. You want the guy who walks in and says, what's the price of your product? It's $10. Here you go. Here's $10, and they walk out of your store. That's who you want to run your country. So you have an inexperienced prime minister and an inexperienced cabinet making a lot of mistakes for Dominica, which we will see in the future.
All right, so Al, I was waiting for you to answer the question that Andy asked from June last year to June this year. You haven't answered the question. 449.
And it's $500 down on that. By the way, if you think you're the winner of $500, come through.
Hello,
I got cash.
Hello, yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Let me tell Mr. Jolly, thank you. Let me tell you, if you're looking for somebody that's lying the most, and it impacts my mind. But nobody lies more than this man that say he runs this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes?
Well, you know, the line is something that can be fixed, right? And it can't be fixed by you attending church and standing in the front pew. But what is significantly affecting me as a person is the constant begging. I don't mind you not telling us the truth because you're a politician. Politicians never tell the whole truth, Matt. There's always three different versions, but it's a constant begging. We have to beg for everything here in Dominica. We're begging people to help us. We are being looked at on the world as a bunch of people who cannot take care of their own affairs. And we have to beg everybody for financial assistance. We have to bring in everybody to show them that we need to borrow from them. We have to show people we cannot take care of ourselves. Anytime you have that situation, Matt, the only thing it does is kills you from within because your soul dies. You no longer can take care of your own affairs and your own needs. And that is where we are in Dominica today. We cannot take care of ourselves because our politicians are beggars.
All right. Another telephone call. Are you there?
Yes, madam. There. What do you update on Brian?
Well, I gave it earlier that he's now at the Stockholm prison and I suspect his lawyers will go speak to him soon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we spoke about that. Okay, somebody's saying that Andy should spend more time sitting with the business community, talking about Dominican economy, what their views are on where we are and where we are going, and on what they can do to guide our direction economically.
Well, Matt, one of the things that you have to know is that our country is so politicized right now and has been run down in the dump that the business people in Dominica have really no power at all. And nothing in Dominica can be done without good regulation. If we have good leaders, Matt, if we have good people who can set directions, if we have good course correction, we can win. But Matt, we cannot expect the business leaders of Dominica to come forward and fix business in Dominica when we have a customs that is constantly ripping and raping through the system. We cannot have our ports that our port charges to whether it be to enter or to leave Dominica the highest. We cannot have our taxes in Dominica right now that are with the highest. We cannot have all our inefficiencies that we have in government and high regulation, which is at the highest level in the Caribbean. We cannot have those things in a business culture. If you notice, one of the things that President Trump sits down and talk about for the people who watch the news is the deregulation, and it's the efficiency, and it's the creating of the less waste and more efficiency in everything that the politics of the country does. And once you get that efficiency up top, the government has their stuff together, then you will see the businesses of Dominica flourish. But right now, the government is like a leech on the back of the businesses in Dominica. They suck the blood out of every business in Dominica. They live off us. So therefore, we cannot grow.
All right, we have just about 7 more minutes with Mr. Andy Jolly. I'm sure while he's in Dominica, he will return to talk on the issues. Are you there, caller?
Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm there.
Okay.
But as Mr. Jolly is talking about the begging situation in Dominica, I am sure that based on Roosevelt's carried leadership, if we are hit with another hurricane, it don't have to be as disastrous as Maria. We will still have to end up begging out there again. The margin of begging going to be greater because Roosevelt's carried haven't done anything to avoid Dominica from actually going to beg and to cause the country to be self-sustainable. What you need is to be at least 75%, right? Sustainable. You sustain yourself about 75% and you'll be in a better position. But today, based on that leadership, man, we have to beg for everything again and it will be more difficult for us to get anything from anybody. Anyway, cool.
Let me just make a statement. Somebody's just making a point there.
Hey, you can make the point. Matt, I'm going to tell you, I'd really like to take a lightning poll one of these days when you have time. Are we better off before Maria or after Maria? What do you think?
Good question.
That isn't that a good question though?
Good
Aren't we
question.
supposed to be better off now? Let's ask anybody out there. Are we better before or after?
I'm going to ask you a related question there. Matt, the Minister of Tourism declared that 2025 Carnival is the best ever. Question: what is the yardstick was used? What yardstick was used to determine such? And two, where are the details numbers? Read the 34% hike in arrivals on the island.
Matt, it's the same thing that I just told you a while ago. Be careful who you listen to because everybody will paint you a picture. Are you listening to a used car salesman or are you listening to your preacher? Which one are you listening to? Matt, here's the thing. Everybody bulks up everything. You know, why don't these politicians do this? If our Minister of Tourism, what is it? Denise is that her first name, right?
Denise Charles Pemberton.
Denise Charles Pemberton. That's correct. If she wanted to say that the carnival was the best, why didn't she just give us the statistics and we as educated people can come up and say, oh my God, look at that. Last year was 10. This year is 15. So we did so much better. Wow, look at that. No, instead they come out and they tell us it was the best. You know why, Matt? Denise Charles was told to tell everybody it was the best. You know why? Because she is following the script. She's following the script and the narrative. If you have to question Miss Denise Charles, ask her why, I bet you $10 she couldn't give you a reason why. She could not give you the reason why. You know why? She did not do the homework. She doesn't even know how many tourist ships we've had, if we did better this year than last year. She doesn't know, but she's not reading the script. She's not reading the data. She's reading the script.
From somebody else.
From somebody else. Somebody handed Denise Charles a piece of paper and say, go read this.
We've got to go though. We've got to go.
I know some of you wouldn't believe me, but if I lie, ask me good friend Mackie.
We have 4 more minutes.
A big lion competition to see who they will crown as lion champion. Lions from all parts of the West Indies. Big shot lions from all them foreign countries. From a field about 1,000 or so entry. In 2 days, it boiled down and leave just 3. I had me iron, I did lion. Because I know he does come with some good ones. But they had a young doctor named T-Bone. Come from some village.
Mr. Joshua Francis says hi, and he says he would be willing to have a program with you one-on-one someday soon, huh?
Tell Joshua bring cash because when I come, I always bet on the show. we need to make sure we have some high rollers on there. Man, the amount of money that I've literally offered on this show, and nobody even takes me up on it. I don't think they can find the information. It's just like I'm a betting man. I'm willing to put up some money just for an answer, and I can't get one.
All right, let's see if we can take 2 more calls before we wrap it up here in the afternoon. Talk to me, yes, quickly, please.
You giving everybody extra time. You don't give my friend Mr. Jolly then.
I just gave him extra time from 3 o'clock. Take note. Hello, talk to him on the telephone, yes.
Your question I would like to
Yes, sir.
Would you give Roosevelt Scarrett to manage one of your businesses? But if you have a job and would you give him a job as a manager? I would really like to
Blue. Have you seen a resume for Mr. Roosevelt Scarrett? What do you think would be on his resume? What do you think would be on his resume? Yes, tell me what would be the accomplishment. If you have a resume, first before you get a job, you apply for the job and you put all these good things that you've done on your resume. What do you think is on Mr. Roosevelt Scarrett resume?
I will try. I will try.
Jesus Christ, Blue.
Oh, boy, hello, talk to me on the telephone. Oh, God. We have 2 more minutes. Let's go.
Yes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, please. Yes.
Mr. Matt.
Yes, I'm here.
I am hurt by the transfer of Ross University from Dominica to Barbados.
Okay.
It has left me in great debt. At the very closure, coincidentally, of Ross University, there I was encouraged to put in some new LPG equipment for new crematorium that was installed. at the university. And the university just lasted just around a month and a half afterwards, after the installation of the equipment. At this particular moment I'm talking to you, those equipments are still on the site of the university, because the Prime Minister said that he has a competition between people who are interested in the reinstatement of the university. He had 10 of them in line. So I was asked to leave the equipment there up to this present moment. There is no usage of the crematorium, and there is no usage of the equipment that I put on site. So it left me over $1 million in debt, which I had to write off on past resources. And this is the position. So when a prime minister from Barbados comes in to speak in Jubla, it is rather unfortunate that Jubla is very close proximity to Ross University, and around 98% of the people in Jubla work at the university. What is she going to say gloriously to the people? And what would Mr. Skerritt say in the achievement and replacement of Ross University, when my business, which is a family-oriented business, was left hanging with new equipment of over $1 million? Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody says, Matt, tell Andy I'm gonna come for my 500 US. Why?
$500.
500 EC dollars.
Yeah.
Yes, he said he was going to mess up the economy, and he did.
He did. Well, I'll expect a visit from you, and or also I have a cash offer for Mr. Skerritt's house, because he said he was interested in, if somebody made him an offer for the house, he would give it up. So I'm ready. Bring it on. I mean, but it's always a pleasure to be on your show when I get here. But I'm so sad that the last caller almost put a tear in my eye. I'm going to tell you that. Well, man, it's bad to see that we've lost so much. But here's what I have to tell all you: if the person that steal from you before is coming to tongue again, you might want to hide your wallets, because you don't know what they're looking for this time. Last time they take what you had. Chances are they might take what you have again. So let's keep an open mind on this thing, and hide your wallets, everybody.
Are you saying we should keep hope alive?
Well, we shouldn't keep hope alive. Hide your wallet under your pillow, because if they take from you once and they leave you hanging, then they're going to take from you again. So let's not celebrate this Mayor Motley as yet, because who knows what the intentions are. There's always a secret intention. Remember, everybody comes for something. The question is what it is.
A good way to go, Dominica. This is it for us. Andy, thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
All right. Yet. If you really want to hear about fishing, let me blow your mind. Now listen to something. When you're talking about fish, you just hit this spot. I was hoping you didn't believe it or not. The fish your father caught, for you it was great. But it's them small fish my father does use to bait. Lion went ahead on once in the show, completely eliminated Mr. Depot. The next man to beat was really outrageous. He asked the judges if he could lie, but the judges asked Lion. The Lion agreed. Say any topic you think is all right with me. The outrageous, nice, strong, let me meet head on. And when we done see who had fit to wear the crown, you hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Let it go. Let it go. Shook it up. The outrageous say that he knew a tailor comes to make him sue. The man is a master. If you show him a man coming round a corner, he could make him a suit. and don't even measure. I'm talking about suit, sitting down correct, and poorly made, and fitting perfect. He used to talk with Shakespeare, make suit to Hamlet, and not for this day yet, make a mistake yet. You know the crowd went wild, they couldn't pull down. I said, lion, who's in the crown? The judges brought the crowd back to order. The lion to lie out a tailor. He said, my man is the best. Rolf is his name. Cutting cloth, making suit is his game. Don't show him the man, my tailor is class. Just show him the corner where the fella pass. And he go make a suit. That is tailor. You hear like King Liar. Teach your boss this day. If you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Move it up. Move it up. Move it up. Move it up. Let it go. Teach your boss. If you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.